There's a particular kind of tired that doesn't come from doing too much. It comes from the constant sense that whatever you're doing isn't enough. I think about this feeling often. The way it sits in your chest like a stone, heavy and familiar. You know the one. It's the exhaustion that follows you into quiet moments. The voice that whispers you should be further along by now, should have figured it out, should be better at this whole business of living. By the end of our time together today, I want to offer you something different. Not a solution that asks you to try harder, but permission to stop trying so hard in the first place. You wake up and the day feels like a test you didn't study for. There are emails to answer, goals to chase, versions of yourself to become. Everyone else seems to have received instructions you never got. How to optimize your morning routine, how to turn your passion into profit. How to be the kind of person who has their life together by 30 or 40 or whatever age you happen to be right now. You're tired of falling behind in a race you never agreed to run. Tired of measuring your worth by your productivity, your happiness by your achievements, your value by how much you've improved since yesterday. The world tells you that stagnation is death, that growth is everything, that if you're not moving forward, you're moving backward. But what if that's not true? What if the goal was never to win at all? I've been thinking about trees lately, not in some mystical way, but practically. A tree doesn't wake up trying to be a better tree than it was yesterday. It doesn't compare its growth to the oak next door, or worry that it's not tall enough, not strong enough, not productive enough. It simply continues. It weathers storms, grows slowly, drops leaves when it needs to rest, and stands through seasons without apology. The goal is not to win, it's to continue. This idea runs counter to everything you've been taught. You've been told that life is about progress, about becoming, about constant improvement. You've internalized the belief that your worth is tied to your performance, that rest must be earned, that good enough is never actually enough. But continuing is different from winning. Continuing is showing up when you don't feel like it, not because you're pushing through, but because you're honoring the simple fact of your existence. It's choosing to be present for your life, even when your life feels ordinary, even when it feels like nothing special is happening. You don't have to justify your existence with achievements. You don't have to earn your place here with productivity. You don't have to become extraordinary to deserve peace. The pressure you feel, that constant hum of not enoughness, it's not your fault. You've been swimming in water that tells you to be more, do more, achieve more since you were old enough to understand language. Of course, you feel tired. Of course, you feel behind. You've been running a marathon disguised as daily life. But here's what I want you to know. You're allowed to stop running. You're allowed to walk. You're allowed to sit down on the side of the road and catch your breath for as long as you need to. The people who tell you that comfort is dangerous, that ease is the enemy of growth, that you should always be pushing your limits, they're selling you something. They're selling you the idea that you're not already enough, but you are enough. Right now, as you are, with all your ordinary struggles and quiet victories and imperfect days. You are enough, not because of what you've accomplished, but because you exist. Because you're here, breathing, continuing. Let me give you a few small shifts that might help you remember this. First, protect your slow moments. The world will tell you that every moment should be optimized, that downtime is wasted time, that you should always be learning, growing, becoming. But your slow moments are not empty spaces to be filled. They're rest stops for your soul. Guard them, honor them. Let them exist without purpose or productivity. Second, practice the art of good enough. Your house doesn't have to be perfect. Your work doesn't have to be flawless. Your relationships don't have to be Instagram-worthy. Good enough is often more than enough. It's the sweet spot between caring and not carrying yourself into exhaustion. Third, stop keeping score. Life is not a game where points are tallied and winners are declared. There's no cosmic leaderboard tracking your achievements against everyone else's. The only score that matters is whether you're still here, still breathing, still continuing. Fourth, remember that ordinary is beautiful. You don't have to be exceptional to be valuable. You don't have to stand out to belong. There is profound beauty in ordinary days, ordinary choices, ordinary love. The majority of life happens in these unremarkable moments, and they deserve your presence. Fifth, trust your own pace. Some seasons of life are for growing, others are for resting. Some years are for pushing forward, others are for standing still. Your timeline doesn't have to match anyone else's. You don't have to apologize for taking your time. The goal is not to win because life is not a competition. It's a continuation, showing up day after day. Not because you have to prove something, but because you re-alive, and that's what alive things do. They continue. You continue when you're happy and when you're sad. You continue when you're successful and when you're struggling. You continue when you have energy and when you're exhausted. You continue not because you're trying to get somewhere, but because continuing is the most human thing you can do. There's something radical about this idea in a world obsessed with optimization. Something revolutionary about choosing to exist without justification, to be present without purpose, to continue without competing. I think about the people who shaped me most, not the ones who achieved the most, but the ones who stayed. The ones who showed up consistently, who loved quietly, who made space for ordinary moments to unfold. They weren't trying to win at life. They were just living it. That's what I want for you. Not victory, not extraordinary achievement, not the kind of life that makes other people envious. I want you to have the kind of life that feels like home to you. The kind of life where you can breathe deeply, move slowly, and exist without apology. You don't have to earn your rest. You don't have to justify your pace. You don't have to prove your worth through productivity or achievement or becoming a better version of yourself every single day. You just have to continue. Continue being kind to yourself. Continue showing up for your life. Continue existing in all your ordinary, imperfect, beautifully human ways. The world needs people who understand that the goal is not to win. It needs people who choose continuing over competing, who choose presence over performance, who choose to be exactly who they are instead of constantly trying to become someone else. If you're tired of feeling behind all the time, this channel is a place to rest. Subscribe if you're ready to stop proving and start existing. If you're ready to remember that you don't have to win at life to be worthy of living it. The goal is not to win, it's to continue, and you're already doing that perfectly.